She was a feminist and a legal pioneer, a trailblazing jurist whose stature on the bench of the nation's highest court was anything but diminutive. Tonight, America mourns the loss of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
The Supreme Court telling us she passed away this evening from complications of metastatic pancreatic cancer. Her family was around her at her home where she died tonight. The Supreme Court in D.C., which is her home for 27 years on the bench, lowered the American flag to half-mast. Many people coming to the building and laying flowers at the steps there. That all really speaking to the work of RBG. Her impact on women's rights in this country is really beyond measure, and her legacy certainly will not be forgotten.
I, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, do solemnly swear.
Poised and soft-spoken, she was a native New Yorker with a stellar resume, and only the second woman ever picked for the nation's highest court. After graduating from Columbia Law School, Ruth Bader Ginsburg fought every step of the way in her career path, and she had the full support of her husband, Martin. Being Jewish, a woman, and a mother, she said, were 3 strikes that put her out of the game. Law firms rejected her, so she took a job as a law clerk, then a professor. In the 1970s, she started the Women's Rights Project at the ACLU.
Having experienced discrimination, she devoted the next 20 years of her career to fighting it.
Ginsburg took on a series of landmark cases dealing with gender equality. She argued 6 cases before the Supreme Court and won 5. She said President Clinton's nomination was not just a personal achievement, but a step forward for women.
It contributes to the end of the days when women, at least half the talent pool in our society, appear in high places only as one-at-a-time performers.
Ginsburg had several health scares. In 2018, doctors removed 2 growths from her lungs, causing her to miss 6 days in court. She survived colon cancer and pancreatic cancer, but she refused to step down, earning her pop culture icon status.
It was beyond my wildest imagination that I would one day become the notorious RBG.
You know, they sold shirts with that on it. Her indelible mark on America, especially as a champion for women, is one that will last generations well beyond her passing. Reaction, condolences, all pouring in from across the country. Hillary Clinton to former President George W. Bush. Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis tweeting his regards and also ordering all flags throughout the state to fly at half-staff to honor Justice Bader Ginsburg's lifetime of service. President Trump learned of RBG's death just moments after stepping off the stage at a rally in Minnesota and had this to say.
She led an amazing life. What else can you say? She was an amazing woman. Whether you agreed or not, she was an amazing woman who led an amazing life. I'm actually sad to hear that. I am sad to hear that.
Justice Bader Ginsburg was a brilliant and brazen justice and leaves a huge void on the nation's highest court. President Trump has already presided over the confirmation of 2 Supreme Court justices during his presidency, Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh, and will likely move fast to replace RBG. Tonight, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell released a statement saying the president's nomination will receive a full vote from the Senate just weeks before the election. Here's a deeper dive as to why political expert Lars Hafner says that is controversial.
We know that President Obama actually nominated Merrick Garland in March of an election year, and now we're in September of an election year, less than 50 days away from the election. But we're going to see Donald Trump put forward a nominee, and Mitch McConnell in the Senate will try to rush the process through. And even if it's not done by the election, there will still be a lame duck session after the election, and they could push that individual through at that point in time.
You know, typically it takes a couple of months from nomination to confirmation. Chief Justice John Roberts' confirmation under George W. Bush, that took 23 days, but that wasn't during an election year. Tonight, Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden says the nomination to replace Supreme Court Justice Ginsburg should happen after voters pick the president.